All right, guys. So in this video, I'm going to be going over how you can get into cybersecurity, even if you have little to no experience, and if you're especially looking for an entry-level position. So let's go ahead and look into who am I. My name is Danny Lopez, and I hold numerous industry certifications such as the IT Fundamentals, A+, Network Plus, Sec Plus, CISA Plus, CAS Plus, Project Plus, all from CompTIA. And as for Cisco, I have the CCNA. I also have a Microsoft MTA certification back when those were actually a thing, and a bachelor's degree from Point Loma Nazarene University in computer information technology, as well as I am Yellow Belt certified when I was in the Marine Corps. So that's just a few of the credentials that I hold. And let's go ahead and go on to the next slide here. And I think this is going to be the most important question you're going to have to ask yourself is, why are you getting into cybersecurity? Now, 99% of the people I believe who are going into cybersecurity are going in because of the money. And I currently reside in Southern California. So what I'd highly recommend for you to do is just open up Google and type average cybersecurity analyst salary insert your state or country, and see what the average is. So for my area, it's $92,000 a year. Now, this is very important because when it comes to the actual interview, if you ever are able to actually get the interview, and I really hope you are, you're eventually going to have to negotiate salary. And you're going to want to make sure that you don't lowball yourself, and that whatever the average is, that's around the ballpark that you're asking for. Now that's very important because if you do lowball yourself, that may be a red flag for the employer to think that you may underestimate your skills, or you may not be as competent as what you seem to be. So it's important that you at least aim within that average salary. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next slide here. So why don't you do this as well? Open up a browser and look for cybersecurity jobs around your area. Now, the reason this is important is because you may go into Indeed or USA Job or Monsters or Clearance Job if you have a clearance, or whatever state website you can find, and see what the requirements are. Okay, that's really important because let's say you're in an area and they don't really have cybersecurity jobs. You're going to be looking at the next town, at the next city, and these are all important factors later on. All right. So once you do go into Indeed and you pull up a cybersecurity analyst position, go ahead and read through the requirements for that position. You know, as you read through them, you're gonna here's one I pulled up for Leidos. Now, Leidos is pretty big DoD contractor. I used to work for them, and just pulling up this job here, you have to be a U.S. citizen. You have to have a security clearance. These are some of the requirements. So you can't land this job unless you have those, right? You must have a DoD 8570 certification, something like the CompTIA Sec Plus or above. And it says here you must understand Active Directory users and computers. Now, this is going to be very important because a lot of people think getting into cybersecurity is super difficult. Let's say you're in the help desk right now, you're a network administrator or system administrator, and you're thinking to yourself, I need to develop specialized skills in order to get into cybersecurity. The truth is, you already have those skills. You just don't know it. And we'll go over that more later. Okay. Um, Next, you have to be able to work independently, and some of the soft skills that you're required to have for these type of positions. And it requires 3 to 5 years of prior irrelevant experience. Now, this is very important as well because when I speak later on about being in the help desk, being a system administrator, being a network administrator, all that is relevant. You meet some of these qualifications. In fact, I would say if you're a U.S. citizen and you have the ability to get a security clearance, you may actually still be able to apply for something like this. Who knows? They may sponsor your clearance. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen countless times. Let's go to the preferred qualifications here. So preferred qualifications, and this is where I'm going to lose a lot of people, and they're going to say, "Wow, I definitely don't have that." Let me talk a little bit about that as well. So it says extensive training or experience with Windows-based information systems, with a working knowledge of Linux operating systems. If you're working help desk, there's a good chance you're going to have that. Okay. Vulnerability assessment and analyze experience utilizing SCAP, ACAS, Nessus, and Disistigs. That's a little bit more particular, and this is where I'm going to talk later about research and how you can research these different things and develop those skills, because the knowledge is out there. You just have to go look for it. Okay. Experience with DoD implementation of Risk Management Framework, RMF, and governing directives, NIST, etc. So again, this is something that you can research on your own, and RMF is used within FISMA and the DoD. However, if you go outside of the DoD, perhaps you were a teacher, you may fall under FERPA, or let's say you worked at a hospital, you may understand HIPAA and HITECH a lot better than you understand something like NIST. So depending on your background, you may have some of these qualifications. You just don't know it. Another one here is familiarity with the Defensive Counterintelligence and Security Agency Assessment and Authorization Manual. So that one's pretty interesting as well. You can see that the salary range here is from 53,000 to 82,000, possibly 110,000. Now, earlier I spoke about looking at the average for your area. So if you were able to land an interview, you'd definitely be wanting to ask for 92 and above, and you wouldn't want to be going below that. Now, I'm looking at this, and like I mentioned, I used to work for Leidos. I can tell you I meet all these requirements, including the preferred ones. So it's something that I've developed over the years. It wasn't something that just occurred. And so let's go ahead and talk about my journey and how that can help you with your destiny. Okay. So when I first began, I was working as a tier 1 help desk, which is something like a junior sysadmin. Okay. In that position, I developed soft skills, understanding of the organization, understanding of our ticketing system that we utilized, troubleshooting knowledge and methodology. That was very important, and I use it up to this very day. When you run across issues, how do you fix them? How do you go about fixing them? How do you go about finding the root cause of the issue and fixing that? And then the next thing is understanding OS, Linux, Windows, servers, mobile. Yeah, even if you're in the help desk or junior sysadmin, you're going to be exposed to all types of operating systems, servers, mobile applications and devices. So you're going to develop that over time. Don't underestimate the junior sysadmin or the help desk technician, because I'll tell you what, some of them are very smart. Some of them have master's degrees and they can script very well. And they may be in a senior position. You'll definitely meet some people in the help desk and sysadmin who are very smart, and you will develop that knowledge. So if you have, like, let's say a master's degree in cybersecurity, and you're trying to fill in your resume with experience, don't be afraid to apply for those type of positions, because you'll definitely gain it. You'll learn about Active Directory, you'll learn about scripting, examining logs so you can troubleshoot issues, understanding your knowledge base, and most likely they will have a knowledge base. So don't be afraid if you walk into one of these positions and you say, well, I'm not qualified. They usually have a knowledge base that's built up that helps people who don't know how to tackle a situation, and they'll have step-by-step procedures on how to fix those issues or get through that. So, you also develop hands-on knowledge. So if you've gotten the CompTIA Plus, Network Plus, and Sec Plus, doing a job like that will help you gain the hands-on knowledge, which is very important. Just because you have book knowledge doesn't mean you're competent enough to solve actual production level issues. Okay. So it's important for you to get your hands dirty and learn how to fix production level issues. And it all comes with trial and error. You're going to make mistakes, and you're going to have to own up to them. And eventually, after a while, you're going to get pretty good about not making any more mistakes and being a professional. Okay. So next, let's talk about my next journey was a network admin. And so as a network admin, I learned how to install and troubleshoot routers and switches. And being a network admin is all about, of course, making sure that your architecture and your um, you know routers and switches are all secure. But your primary job is to make sure they're also available, to make sure that if the network goes down, you go over to that switch and you fix it and you bring it back up, you bring the network back up so everyone's able to communicate, so the business can make money, so the people can do their job. Okay, that's your primary mission. Your primary job is to make sure that communication occurs. And that's what IT is all about. It's all about communication, utilizing technology to communicate. Okay. And cybersecurity is all about making sure that that communication is secure and making sure that those transactions that occur through the internet are secure. Okay. And at the end of the day, it's all about making the business money and making sure that the business is making that money um, securely and within regulations and laws. Okay. So as a network admin, you may be working on projects to deploy this technology, and it may take a longer amount of time. You're working on more sophisticated projects compared to a junior system administrator or help desk person. You may be troubleshooting and configuring switches. So you may have access to those switches and routers, right? And you're developing your knowledge and your methodology, and you're starting to learn more about technology and how everything connects. You'll understand different operating systems. Again, you'll learn more about Windows, Linux, Windows servers, mobile devices, but to include your knowledge of Active Directory and LDAP and the networking protocols will also grow. Okay. So at this point, if you haven't begun scripting, there's a good chance you're going to start scripting as a network admin to automate some of the day-to-day tasks, right? And you're going to be examining logs. The same way a cybersecurity analyst examines logs, you're going to be examining those logs to make sure that the routers and switches are secure, as well as to troubleshoot any availability issues that you run into. And when you set up a router switch, you're going to want to make sure it meets the baseline configuration, right? You're going to monitor that networking switch. So if it does go down, you go over to the switch and you troubleshoot it, right? So you're going to be constantly monitoring the traffic and such. And what you're going to do is you're going to end up utilizing all that knowledge from your like CCNA, and you're going to actually be applying it in the real world, and it's going to be amazing. So that's just some of the stuff that you'll learn as a help desk and network administrator. Now, let's talk about education and certs. Okay, so I like to emphasize the importance of experience because experience is king. It is very important. Education and certs are second to that in my mind because what they prove is they prove that you have a certain level of competency and skills within that area of information technology that you want to specialize in. Okay, it provides you a strong foundation that you can grow on, and it helps you understand complex topics. Okay. Most importantly, I believe it helps you understand how to speak the lingo in information technology. Okay. Learning things like CIA for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. If I told you what is a CIA, you would know what that is as a information technology professional. However, if you're in, let's say, the healthcare sector, you may not know what that is. You may think that's the Central Intelligence Agency. That's not what it is, right? So understanding the lingo is very important, especially when you're doing your interview. Okay. So, you're getting your education, maybe you're going for a bachelor's, your master's, your associate's degree. That's all going to be very helpful in landing an entry-level position. Also, I like to emphasize certifications because despite the fact you get your bachelor's degree, you may not be qualified for that position because you don't have a certification. And according to some laws or regulations, they may require that a certification to start that position. So what I recommend is that you get uh, a combination of experience, education, and certifications if you want to um, get a job in cybersecurity and be highly competitive. Okay. So those are just some of my recommendations because you've seen that first job posting that I shared with you where you're making $92,000 to $110,000. Now, that's a position that in my current stance I can apply for right now, and there's a good chance I'd probably get an interview. Okay. And it took years to develop this knowledge. It wasn't overnight. I didn't do some course. There wasn't some end all be all course I took, and all of a sudden I was knowledgeable and I was able to apply for that type of position. That's not what occurred. I developed these skills over the years, and that's something you're going to have to do as well. There's no easy shortcut, and if there is, and I've met plenty of people who got lucky and they scored a job, and that's always great. But you got to remember, this is a very competitive field, and if they lost their job tomorrow, would they still have that competitive edge? I don't know. That's why I believe if you want to get a job within cybersecurity, you have to work towards all three of these, and you have to be hungry. You have to be wanting this. Okay. So that's just some of my recommendations there. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of homework here. I want you to research a few things, okay? I want you to research what is the cybersecurity demand in your area. Okay. Is there a demand, or are you gonna have to go to another state? Are you possibly gonna have to move? What is demand in that area? Okay. What are they requiring? So let's say you work here in Southern California. There's a lot of military, there's a lot of DoD out here. There's also a lot of corporations, there's hospitals, there's everything, right? But let's say you're in somewhere located in central United States. Okay, there may not be a high demand, or if there is, it's in a specific area in cybersecurity. Maybe they're requiring a degree. Perhaps they're not requiring a degree. Maybe they're just requiring certifications. So you're going to want to gauge what are the requirements for your area. I can't speak on your area. That's something you're going to have to research. Okay. And then also know that apply for entry-level IT jobs in general. Like I mentioned, being a help desk, being a junior sysadmin, being a network administrator, doing all those things will help you gain skills within cybersecurity. Okay, you may not think about it that way, but I can tell you from experience, you will definitely gain skills in cybersecurity that will help you gain your first cybersecurity position. Okay, so you may want to go online and look for IT specialist positions. Okay, another thing, develop yourself and your skills through online courses. Now, again, this isn't the end all be all, and I say be careful with this because there's some people on YouTube who are saying if you do my course, you will be making $200,000 a year. I don't think that's true. I don't think if you do his course, you'll be making $200,000 a year. I'm sorry. It's just not that easy. It's difficult. It's going to be a hard journey. There's going to be a lot of failure involved with this. And you're going to have to research whatever courses you want to take, look at the ratings, and at the end of the course, do you get some type of certification? Does it help you towards some type of certification? Do they provide job placement assistance? Like, what is the end goal of it? Okay, that's very important. So another thing is to apply. Keep applying, even if you don't land an interview. Keep applying, and always make sure you tailor your resume to the job posting. Okay. And network with people. And if you don't understand certain things, like I mentioned earlier about that job posting, they require that you have an understanding of STIGs and CVEs. If you don't understand what that is, research it. The knowledge is out there. It's not hidden behind some firewall somewhere. It's out there. You can learn this stuff. Okay. I was just watching an EJPT video yesterday where they went over STIGs, and I was like, wow, that's great. That that's awesome, because unless somebody was in the military and maybe worked with the DoD, they wouldn't know what that was, right? But the fact that courses are making that information available, it's amazing. The information is out there. Just look for it. Believe me, you'll find it. Okay. And having a understanding of something, just maybe like a understanding the theory behind something, that's good. You can explain that during an interview. And if you don't have the hands-on experience, just understanding it is a step in the right direction. It shows the interviewer that you took time to actually research it. And you may be surprised because there may be applicants who don't know any of this and they're in the same predicament as you, but they didn't take that extra time, all right, to research it. And therefore you end up getting the position and they don't, right? That's just how competitive it is. So research, 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 okay? And then, like I mentioned earlier, is as you're getting the certifications, you're getting your degree, you're gaining experience, make sure you understand how cybersecurity professionals speak. Like I mentioned about the CIA, confidentiality, integrity, availability. Make sure you understand that, okay? And when you talk like a cybersecurity professional, okay? That's definitely going to help you land your first job. Another thing you can do is develop projects, right? You can go on YouTube and you can find all types of cybersecurity projects. Just make sure that whatever projects you do, they'll help you land these jobs. Okay, there's plenty of videos that I could find on YouTube that will teach you what is a CVE and explain that, right? You may make a website, you may make a website that explains what a CVE is. You may do some research into it. You may make a blog about it. You may provide updates about critical CVEs that have come out within the last month. Like those are all things that I think will help you as a professional. All right. So guys, I just want to take some time out of my day to help some people get into cybersecurity, because I've been seeing posts all over Facebook, all over social media from people who have like master's degrees who are asking, how do I get and land my first cybersecurity position? And I'm telling you right now, it's not easy. Just because you have that degree of certification, it's not going to be easy, because you're going to have three things most of the time. Sometimes you can just land a position with a certification or a degree, but a lot of times you're going to need a degree, you're going to need experience, and you're going to need certification. Okay, and if you don't need those, then I'd still work towards those, because you'll be able to be more competitive, right? You'll develop more skills, and you'll become a better cybersecurity professional. Anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and put my link in the description of this video. Don't hesitate to reach out. I have a LinkedIn account. You can message me. You guys can post comments below and ask for more advice, and I'll be happy to help you. That's what I'm here for. Anyhow, I hope you guys have a good day. Danny out.